You are the company Coreball champion, if I'm not wrong. So I don't know what your preferred choice is, but I've played the Sharks before.
Okay.
So maybe I'm happy with the Sharks.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Ready Steady Play. I'm Mike, of course. You may know me from all the other videos. And this is Carlos, a new face on the show. Carlos is from Burning Games, the company who put out, we've got Faith RPG, we've got Dragons
Conquer America.
Dragons Conquer America. That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So that's, and that's close to fulfillment, isn't it?
Yes, so the game is completely finished and is ready to print. We just sent all of the PDFs to all the backers. And we're getting some feedback from the backers, like they need clarifications about some specific rules, like how does this weapon actually work and stuff like that. And they're telling us about like, oh, we found a typo here. So we are not going to print yet, just because we're getting all this amazing feedback from the backers and we're like implementing that.
Well, it's great that you're doing that.
Yes, I mean,
it's good.
What is really great is that they are doing that.
Well, they're obviously very passionate.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah.
And fortunately, that's meant that we can now get onto this new project that you've got coming to Kickstarter.
Yes.
That's right. So this is Coreball. It's your first foray into miniatures games, right?
Yes. So we have designed RPGs for the last 40, I don't know how many years, like a lot of years. And this is the first board game we make. It's actually a spin-off of Faith or Sci-Fi RPGs. This sport, Coreball, is a sport that they play in the RPG. And you can play in the RPG.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So you can become a flyer in Coreball, but in Faith.
Yes, you could.
This is a tabletop miniatures skirmish game.
Yes.
Is how I would describe it, but maybe you know better.
Yeah, so it's a sports game, and it's a team building game. So there's an aspect of you creating your own team and then competing against your friends. It's very strategic. It's quite short, but every decision matters a lot, and most games will end with like, you just won because one decision that you made and the other person did it. And
the teams have different strengths. They're all asymmetrical.
Yes.
So that's very exciting. And then once we've decided on what teams we're going to have, we're going to fly around space trying to... It's basically a sort of keep the ball, right?
Yeah. So basically you don't have to score anywhere. You don't have to take the ball to any specific place. You just have to keep it. So the game is played in 4 rounds. And the round ends when all of the flyers have been activated. So you can use each of them, right? And whoever has the ball at the end of that round scores the points.
Yep, and there are other ways to score points too.
No, there are ways to lose points.
Oh no!
So you begin the game with 5 points, so you can begin losing points from the
outset.
from the get-go. So you can lose points by getting injured, and you can lose points by leaving the board.
So you can't go below 0 points, though, right?
You cannot.
Okay, that's good. That's lucky for me.
And that's actually like a valid strategy in the game. Is okay. So because when people leave the board, they lose points. You can take people with you, so both of you will lose points. But you can try to make it so the other person lose more. So it's a valid strategy to quickly have 0 points, because then no matter what you do, there is no cost for it. Yeah.
Excellent. So now that we're here, we've got our team set up. I've got the Space Sharks, who I assume are going to be really tough and vicious.
Yes. And I got the Bullbugs, and they are... they are more flexible, but they are also... they like grappling people, and they have very high resistance to the different kind of stuff that you can do to them. So I'm a good counter to your team.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, what can I do that you can't do?
Well, you can push people around very effectively, and then you can move very efficiently in the board. You can move through obstacles, you can ignore momentum and stuff like that. Well, I can't.
So for those of you at home, you can see here that we've got our teams on the board here. They're not deployed yet, but we've got the generic starting map, and what's going to happen with this map in a minute is very exciting. So I'll save that.
Right, so what should we do? So we choose teams? Or?
So the very first thing we've got to do, because we've got the core set teams here, which comes with 3 players for the Space Sharks and 3 players for the Bullbugs. Of course, there's going to be more players and stuff available later, and we'll talk about that a bit more in detail. But for now, what we've got is our 3 starting guys, and we've got 8 mercenaries. 6. I can't count. This is going to go well. So we've got 6 mercenaries who are the generic players supporting our teams, and we're going to decide which of these mercenaries we're going to keep and which ones we're going to get rid of.
Right. So the idea in the game is that when you play against a friend or you go to a competition with other friends or in a store or in a club or whatever, the idea is that you bring a set number of characters from your own team. So I can only use Bullbug characters, or Bullbug flyers. And you can choose between 2 of them and 8 of them. Right? And then when you deploy those, and I see what you are getting, and you look at what I'm getting, and then we take turns to select mercenaries to fulfill the rest of the slots, right? Until you have 8 flyers. So you can go with like 8 Bullbugs, and those characters have a lot of synergies going on, but then I don't have any flexibility depending on who am I facing, right?
So you wouldn't be able to draft any mercenaries.
Exactly. Or I could go like 4 or 5 Bullbugs, have a good strategy built around those, and then have the 2 or 3 spots left, and then I would choose which mercenaries to use against you. And then if I'm playing a competition and I have to keep the same team of Bullbugs, but I can change the mercenaries I used in each match.
And that's really interesting because I think that, having played quite a lot of competitive games and skirmish games and stuff like that, having a squad that you're very familiar with that has a lot of built-in strategies that you know how to play, and you can almost play sort of second nature, is an extremely important factor.
Yeah.
So I think this creates a really interesting decision because I would be very tempted to bring the flexibility to take the mercenaries and develop those counters. On the other hand, I understand the importance of that set team with the familiar strategies as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's very cool.
Yeah, that's up to everyone. Everyone can choose the way their approach.
Yeah, you can decide what works best for you.
Yes, but in this case, because we only have 3 guys from our own team, the decision is quite simple. We actually have to remove 1 mercenary instead of just selecting 5.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what we have to do first is find out who is the first player, right? So we have a first player token, and then we have a ball token, right? So one is going to get the first player token, and one is going to begin the game with the ball.
Right, so the player who has the ball will be the second player.
Yes. So, choose a hand.
I think I'd like to have the ball, please. Yes!
You do have the ball.
Excellent.
I like the first player token.
I think that works in my favor, but I'm not sure.
Right. So, because I am the first player, I must choose which mercenary to remove from my team first. And I think I'm going to not use tackle, because she's a grappler and I already have 2, so I think I can survive without her.
Right, and I've decided to give up Striker because I don't know how he works very well, and you told me he was really complicated.
I mean, yeah.
But that's okay, because I'm going to watch you use him, so that when I get my copy of this game, I will know how to use him and beat all my friends.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's why I'm here.
You're here so that I can satiate my competitive urges. This is my insight into how this works from the designer.
Right, so the idea is that the player who has the ball has to place the first flyer on the board anywhere you want, and that character must be the ball controller. Okay?
Right. Now, I think, if I remember correctly from my previous plays of this game, and I have played twice before, so I am something of an expert. I think Phaser is very good at holding on to the ball because of his carrier special ability. So I think I want to have Phaser.
Yes.
And I feel like being somewhere, especially if you're being somewhere in the middle is probably preferable.
It's less risky.
It's less risky. Going on the outside, makes me vulnerable to being pushed off.
Yes, and then you lose the ball straight away.
I don't want to lose the ball straight away.
Yes. Okay. So,
Although I need to survive the whole round to score any points with it.
Yes. So I'm going to go with Wally here.
Oh,
right. So
that's very intimidating.
For deployment, the rules are a bit different than in how you usually come into the board. So the idea is you can go anywhere, but into a space occupied by an opponent, or orthogonally adjacent to yourself. So now you cannot go into these 4 squares. Okay.
For deployment.
But you could go to the same square.
But it's 2 of my flyers per square, right?
Yes, so it's a limit of 4 flyers per square, and only 2 can be from the same team. And that's also true in a 3-player game, in a 4-player game.
Now, I have not had the joys of playing a 3 and 4-player game, but I am quite excited by the prospect of it. I do like Hacker. Hacker's a lot of fun. I like hacking. You can hack each other's suits and shut people down, which is a lot of fun. I'm not sure if that's my...
Just here.
So I know that he has the ball.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's put out Zerion.
Sure.
So it's orthogonally adjacent I can't go?
Yeah.
So I'll go down here then, I think.
Yes.
Somewhere in the middle where I can look like a big bully.
Yes.
There we go. Now I feel better about Wally being there. So I know I've got my friend backing me up.
So I'm going to go with Keen here, and Keen is my ball guy. He's the one who's going to try to steal the ball from you.
Oh no, King, don't do it, man. All right.
He's the king. He does what he pleases.
And what's his special power there?
Right. So to resolve actions, we compare the skill values we got, right, and then we also play 1 card from our deck. And we add the value of that card to our skill. Mm-hmm. So what he can do is after we see each other's cards, I can choose to draw a second one and decide which one I use.
Oh no.
So it's really handy. And if you're good at counting cards, you can even use him to discard low cards. Yeah.
That's, I suppose what you don't want is to get 2 good cards.
Yes, that would be terrible. Like getting 2 4s. 4 is the highest card in the deck.
And you've got a limited number of those. All right, so
because you are the ball carrier at the moment, you basically want 2 things. You want to protect the ball, and then also make sure I lose points while I'm trying to get it.
I feel like what I want to do is put forward in here, because then if someone comes in here, I can activate her? Is that how that works?
Yes.
So if you come in trying to take the ball from Phaser, I can activate forward. I'm not really sure maybe what she could do, maybe push you out or something.
I mean, she has a very weak push of 1.
Oh,
but
no.
What she can do is pick up the ball from Phaser and then run away.
So that feels like a good plan.
Yeah.
Although, then she has to actually... Phaser's the one who's good at running away. Maybe what I should have done was...
Begin with the ball on forward.
Maybe, but then if I give the ball to Phaser, he's not going to activate, is he? Like, her power is that you could move in there, she could activate and leave.
Yeah.
Phaser wouldn't be able to leave. He'd take the ball from her and then just stand there waiting to get grappled.
Yes. Okay. I'm also going to play my forward. My idea is that you cannot run away through here.
I mean, that seems like a good idea. All right. I've got 2 more people to play. I want someone aggressive here. Show me someone aggressive. I think... I really like Therenth. I'm not really sure. Therenth's ability, she gets... there's all these momentum mechanics. You guys are going to see it in a minute when we start playing the game. But it's great because obviously we're playing in 0G and we're going to start moving around and then we're just going to start floating around. And Therenth uses that to her advantage. Now, whether I can use it intelligently is absolutely in question. I'm going to put her down here.
No, you cannot go.
I cannot go there. That's right. You're right. Absolutely. I still feel like I want these middle spaces. So I'm going to go over here.
Okay. So I really want the ball. So I'm going to go with a... I'm going to go with a second ball person here.
Now, what I'm hoping is that a big, awful barrier will show up somewhere that's going to get in your way.
That's why I'm putting 3 people who can steal the ball all around, so someone will be able to go in.
Someone will do it. All right, and I've got one last person to play, so I think I want to do tackle because he seems aggressive.
Yeah, he's.
She is. She's a very aggressive-looking player. There we go. You guys can have a look and make up your mind for yourself. Actually, she looks pretty much bigger than everyone else on my team, with the exception of Zerian.
Yeah, she is as well.
All right, let's. Who do I think is going to be most successful at taking the ball from me? I'll start over here.
Okay. I'm going to place my hacker here.
No, damn it!
Okay, so now we move the other 3 characters, or flyers, to the reserve. So just put them on the side, so they don't bother you while you're playing. And we're ready to start. So the first thing we gotta do is remove this and introduce a new tile. So this is the terrain we're going to play in.
So now we're in space.
Yeah, and as you predicted, there is a big red barrier there that if I go through, I will get injured.
That's worked out quite nicely for me.
Yeah.
The game has understood that I need all the help I can get.
Right. So because I'm first player, I go first. Right. So what we're going to do is take turns to activate 1 flyer each. And once all of them have been activated, that's the end of the round. Then we resolve the momentum also, and then we resolve if we crash against the asteroids and stuff or not.
So we don't want to be stood in the spaces with the asteroids or with the... I'm going to show my lack of space know-how.
Debris. They're called debris.
Debris. Okay, and we don't want to be there at the end of the round because then we'll collide with them and we'll hurt ourselves.
Yes.
We also want to avoid passing through these barriers if possible.
Yeah. So the barriers are like on your sides now in the round. Mm-hmm. Well, these things, you see them incoming, right? That's kind of how you should imagine it in a 3D perspective. Okay, so the red barrier is very annoying. What can I do?
If you guys are wondering about these white gates, those are going to give us different colored momentum, which is going to move us around the map at the end of the round. But some of our characters, well, my character Theron, can manipulate that for her own benefit.
Yeah.
If I can just remember how she does it.
Very annoying. This barrier is trouble. Okay, so what I think I want to do is activate Wally to move in here, and I'm going to get 1 yellow momentum because I went through that, and I'm going to grapple Syrian.
Alright, makes sense.
I just don't like him.
Don't like him?
No.
He's a big scary dude.
Yeah.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to check your grapple stat.
Yes.
Against, I can choose, can't I? I've got, I can choose defense.
You can dodge or push back.
That's right, dodge or push back. So if we have a look here on our card, this is my defender. Here's Arian. This is, you're going to have to talk me through the stats here, my friend.
So it's ball control.
Yes.
Everything related to ball is done with that. Then that's pushing, that's grappling, that's dodging, that's hacking, and that's firewall.
So this is protecting against hacking.
Yes.
And pushing is about moving people around. So that's dodging. Yes. Pushing is about moving people around. You'd use dodge to protect against push, wouldn't you?
Yes, but you can also push back or grapple back. So every time someone grapples you or pushes you, you can push back, grapple back, or dodge. Mm-hmm. Right? And you decide depending on what you're better at. But also, when you push back or you grapple back, you will get a tire token. And that means that you already did an action outside your activation, and you don't get to do an action during your next activation, right?
Right.
Well, if you dodge, you don't do that. So dodging is the thing you want to do if you really need that character to do something later on.
Mm-hmm. So I think in a way, given that this has kind of worked out in my favor, I don't actually have a plan for Zerion anymore. I would like to keep him free, but his dodge is 2, and your grappling is 3. So if I take pushing, my pushing is 4, which is good. Mm-hmm. And I can then even, if I win, I can push you.
Yes.
So maybe that's my preferred option because I could maybe push you into that rock, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you'll drift off it because of your momentum. So maybe I push you back through the momentum.
Yeah,
and
if you get me 2 yellow momentums, then
you drift off the board.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. So I might try and do that.
Okay.
All right, let's find out what happens. So
how do you shuffle this?
I've given mine a quick shuffle. Maybe I'll just do another quick one here for the...
I don't know what I did. Yeah.
I'm going to see this is what my colleague Michael would refer to as changing the destiny of the cards. Yes. So hopefully it's going in my favor. We'll find out. Here we go.
Oh. So you got a total of 4. And you got a 6. So you win. But because I am the attacker and I lost, I keep the card. And I gain the text ability.
So that's going to stay in front of you, and you can use that to your benefit. And that's a reaction that says, after playing cards during a confrontation, add +1 to your skill. So you can have a +1 bonus another time of your choosing, which is very good. This goes into a discard pile, doesn't it?
Yes.
So I'm going to remember that that's there, and that's my discard. So now that I can push you, I'm going to choose to push you back into the space you came from, which will give you another one of these nice yellow momentum tokens there.
So that's big trouble, because that means I'm going to fly off. I only have 1 movement left. And there's nowhere I can go that saves me from that.
Because if you move back, you'll take another momentum. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to go over here because of the injury and moving backwards.
Yeah.
So
what I'm going to do is I will move here to make sure... Oh, Sirion gets a tire token.
Yeah,
but it doesn't really matter because he has Relentless. So I will move here.
Oh, that's double good.
Yeah, so you cannot push me through the right.
You planned this, didn't you? You're going easy on me, I can tell.
No, I plan to grapple you. So Sirion is super dangerous, but because he has a grapple 0, if you grapple him, he cannot get free ever.
And then what are his options then?
Nothing. What you can do is go with someone else and either push us out of the board, in which case we go each to our reserves, or you can grapple Wally, and that forces me to let go. So you have to go with a third character and grapple my grappler. Mm-hmm. So it would have been very handy.
All right. Now we've got these broken positions here. Those are for...
Right. So those are open obstacles, and the idea is that after you move through them, you take one of the railgun tokens and you put it on top, and you decide in which direction they go. And they don't affect you because you already went through them. But if someone follows you, they will be affected by them.
And do I have to put one of those out? Is that optional?
It's optional.
Interesting. That's an interesting dynamic. So I can sort of run away and block my position. Mm-hmm. So I think what I'll do then is I'll take Zarian, and I'll move him in here, and I'll push King. I think that's good, right? And the only reason I'm able to do that is because he's got Relentless.
Yes.
So I can activate him and remove this token.
Yes.
But if I did not, when I activated him...
He would be tired, and then therefore he couldn't do an action.
But he could move. He could move 2 spaces. Yes. Everyone can move 2, right?
Yes.
Unless they have some ability that affects that.
Yeah.
So everyone's got 2 movement. And you can do both movement before or after taking the action, or even one first action and then another.
Yeah, any order you want.
As Wally did. So that's interesting. So I can activate him now, remove this token, move 1 space in here, and push King.
Yes, so you rotate the card to let us know he's been activated. And then you push King, and where do you want to push him?
Let's have a think. I'd like to push him backwards, please.
Yeah, through the...
Yeah, through the orange badness.
Yes, that's not good. Okay, so I'll dodge with my dodge of 3. I got a total of 6.
As did I.
Okay, so you have the same value as me, and because you're the attacker, you win draws. Mm-hmm. So I can either use Kim's ability, draw a second card, and hope it's a 4, or I could use the +1 and succeed. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend my +1.
That seems prudent. So I get to keep this one because I'm the attacker who lost.
Yes.
And this is, I can ignore obstacles on 1 flyer after I activate him.
Yes. So he can move through them. It's pretty good. Okay, so it's my go.
Well, I have 1 more movement on Zarian, don't I?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I do. I don't think that I have any movement I particularly want to do with him, though. Nope. I think he's happy there.
Yeah, that's fair.
I say I think he's happy there. We'll find out later. I'll let you know.
Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is activate... I'm going to activate forward. I'm going to move in here, gaining green momentum. And now, because I went into this square, you have the chance of using forward's reaction.
My forward's reaction. So you've got a very high dodge of 4. And your ball skill is 2, because we have the same skill set. So what I can do, what I want my goal here to be is to try and prevent you from taking the ball from Phaser. It's possible that he can hang on to the ball himself because he has a ball control of 4 to your 2. So if I activate forward now, obviously I will not be able to activate her later, but the question is, what can I do that's useful if I do activate her? What I can do is grab the ball from Phaser, and if I'm successful, I can move 2 with it.
You're automatically successful.
I will automatically... Okay, so yeah. I could grab that ball and move 2.
And then I only have 1 movement left, and therefore I couldn't get the ball from you with forward.
And I think what I'm going to do with forward, actually, because I know it's so unlikely, but I think I'm going to actually activate forward, so I would tap her. And I am actually going to try and push you. Because even though I think I'm going to fail, it gives me a react... If I fail, I'll still get the card.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of anything else useful I particularly want to do with her.
Right. So with forward, I'll dodge.
Yeah, you'll dodge. So it's your 4 to my 1.
Yes.
So realistically, I need you to draw a 1, and I need a 4.
Yes.
In order to be successful.
Yes.
All right. Well, stranger things have happened. Oh, rats.
Right. So you fail, but you keep that card.
I've got a preventive missile. I'm not sure I like that particularly. But what I can do now is move her if I so desire.
Yes.
And I'm just looking at the board state here and what I think. So I have to be careful as well because I don't want to put her somewhere that I might want to put someone else. I think I'm going to go 1 up there and then 1 into here.
Okay. So your activation ends now, and then I resume my activation.
With your forward.
Yes. So I have 1 movement left, and I have 1 action left. So I can either try to steal the ball, or I can try to push you. My ball is 2 versus your ball of 3 plus 1, because you're carrying the ball. Or my push of 1 versus your dodge of 3. So in either case, we got the same. I got the same chances of winning. So I think what I'll do is just try to steal it. No, I'm going to push you.
No!
I have the same chances of being successful. And if I push you through that, you will lay injured for the rest of the game. And that's great for me. So let's try that.
No!
Okay. So so I fail. And I keep that card. Energy field.
I have an energy field.
Yes. And I will do my second movement and I'll go there.
Okay.
Now's your turn.
Alright, so do the abilities on the card text improve as the numbers decrease?
No, as the numbers increase.
So if I have a 4... Oh, that makes sense, because then if I have a 4 and I fail, I get a really cool power.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense. Right. So the 2s are a bit rubbish.
I mean,
this one's
handy.
okay. This one's quite good. I like this one because this is like your uh-oh card, right? This is like I'm standing on a rock at the end of the round. I really don't want to get hurt, so save me.
Yeah. So energy field is less useful for you because you got a phaser, and her abilities basically she already has an energy field ability, right? But for everyone else, it's very good.
Unfortunately for Phaser, I'm not really super happy about Phaser's positioning here. On account of these 2 rocks and that injury field. So wherever I go seems like kind of a bad choice. But I can also ignore terrain at the end. Not at the end. Yes, during my activation. But then this could ignore terrain at the end. So what I could do, theoretically, if I wanted to be a big coward,
you could
is I could actually activate him here and then just go and sit on this rock.
Yes.
And I think
And you could activate that too.
I could activate that. No, is that? Yeah, let's that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the better way, I think.
There we go. If you come through this way, or anyone for that matter comes through this way,
you will fly off
through the injury field.
Yes.
So that's particularly bad. And
yes.
I'm going to have to... Phaser didn't do anything this round.
Yes.
Can Phaser hack?
No. He has hacking of a 0, and if you have a 0, you cannot use the skill.
The rats.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get 3 points for that, because there's no way I can get the ball from you now. Well, actually, there is a way. No, because I made a mistake. So one way of doing it would be to go with center to king, push king once, and then he could reach that.
Yes.
But I closed that window when I moved forward there, right?
But when you put forward there, you didn't know Phaser would be here.
Yes, but I should have suspected something.
You should have suspected something sneaky.
I didn't know you were... Oh, yes, I do know. I did not know you had that card.
I'm just being very sneaky.
So I'm going to activate Hacker. My idea is that to force you to make a harsh choice. So I'm going to hack this guy.
Right. Yes, I can only save one of my children. Yes. Which one do I save?
Right, so it's my hacking against your firewall. I got a total of 6.
And who's my person? Tackle. So I've got 5. So I've been successfully hacked.
Yes. But you don't keep that card because you are the defender.
I am the defender.
Only the attacker gets the card as a consolation prize if he fails.
But I'd like a consolation prize.
Yeah, I mean, your consolation prize is crossing against a rock.
Yeah.
So you're hacked, and that means you cannot move. You could do your action, but you cannot move. And then Hacker is going to stay here. I think he's happy here. Good place, yeah. One move. Your turn.
All right, so being injured is really bad, right?
So being injured means you flip the card to the other side. So you lose 1 point in all of your skills, and you also lose 1 victory point.
Both of those things sound bad.
Yeah.
So I have a plan here, and I'm going to attempt to show off something really cool, but we'll see if it works. What is reduce the VP cost of moving to the reserve with tackle by 1?
Yes.
But that's not tackle.
He's tackle.
So who is that's tackle.
Yes.
Right, yes. But if I push tackle off, what happens?
Right. So if tackle leaves the board outside of tackle's activation, it will cost you 2 victory points, but because of her ability, it will be only 1.
So tackle leaving the board outside of tackle's activation, so it would cost me 1 victory point.
It will cost you 1 victory point, yes. Yeah, you could go with Therin and push him out.
That's kind of my plan.
Yeah, you could do that.
It would cost me a victory point now.
And an activation.
But it would, if I don't, one of these people is going to be injured, and I'm going to lose a point anyway.
Yes.
So I must weigh up let's do it, because I think it'd look cool.
Okay.
So the cool thing about Therinth is that she's got this cool momentum thing going on. So what I can actually do is... Now, if I take 1 yellow momentum and 1 blue momentum, I'll basically cancel each other out,
They
right?
cancel each other, yeah.
So what I want to do is to move Therinth in here, which gives me a yellow one.
Yeah.
And then if I move in here, I've got a blue one.
Yeah, so you're momentum free.
So I'm momentum free. But I have this instance that during my activation, I can take a momentum of my choice.
Yes.
So then what I want to do is... I think I want to take a purple momentum.
Yeah, go for it.
Or, do you know what, actually, let's take a green momentum, I think, because I feel like that's better to stay on that side.
Okay.
So the purple momentum would move me here, and the green momentum would put me here.
No, purple is toward here.
So what I want is a purple one.
Yes.
Because what I
want to be close to the ball.
I want to be close to the ball, and I don't want to be miles out of the situation, unlike Hacker, who likes to sit in that corner and do nefarious things. So if I push tackle...
Yeah, so he's pushed. He's automatically successful. You can push your own characters.
Oh, but maybe I push him here.
Yeah, you don't have to push him out.
I don't have to push him out. I was thinking about pushing him out, but now I'm thinking maybe that's better.
Yeah, so you get a blue momentum on tackle.
So he'll get a blue momentum, but that's okay because he's going to drift through the other barrier and lose it. So momentum control is going to be really important because having one is kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Having lots is really confusing and hard to control. And now I can activate Therent's instant ability to move in the purple direction.
Yes.
But if I do that...
then during the momentum resolution...
I will move on to the rock, which I don't want.
It's okay because you're going to turn it off. You're going to destroy it with a preventive missile.
That's the whole square.
Yeah. It saves everyone.
Okay, brilliant. So I think I will do that.
Yep.
Because I feel like this position is safer from... What's center like?
No, it's just a ball control guy.
No, I think actually I do want to stay here.
Okay. So now I'll activate center because he's next to tackle, and I don't like that. She's terrible on everything but ball control. So what is she going to do? She's going to leave the board. And that's free because she was done doing her activation and she didn't do an action and she wasn't tired. Yeah, so she's out of it.
That makes sense.
Your turn.
Right, so I've only got tackle left, and because he's been hacked, he can only do actions.
But he's alone, so he cannot do anything.
Because he cannot move.
Activated, and then you lose the hack token.
Right. So
now it's my go. Activate King. This is terrible, terrible.
Well, we were very scared of the king. He should have picked a less intimidating name. Like Pussycat would be like, oh, that's fine. We don't mind being in a square with the Pussycat.
I'm going to push Syrian through that barrier.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. What are we looking for here?
So my push is 1.
Your push is 1, and Zarian is... I guess I use my push, right?
Yeah.
To defend, which is 4.
So you get a tire token for using that. And I get a total of 4.
And I have 5.
Okay, so I lose, but I gain this card. So after round begins, I choose a flyer, and the flyer cannot enter the board this round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use King's ability to draw a second card and see if I get lucky. I did not, but I can choose which of these 2 cards to keep. I already have an near field, so I'm going to take Raiding Party. I think. Do I really care? No, actually I'm going to take Energy Field. Okay, so you push me. And I imagine through this.
Is the orange barrier a tired token?
Yes.
And that will remain persist between rounds?
Or... Yes. So you lose 1 tire token and 1 hack token at the end of the activation of an individual flyer.
Okay, so I think actually pushing King away from the ball is in my interest. So let's do that.
So you push me here and get a tire token. And now I have 2 movements left, and I could move out of the board, or I could try to get closer to the ball. I'm going to stay on the board, I think. I'm going to move here, and then I remove this token. Because it's the end of my activation.
Right, that makes sense. Oh, I don't like how close you are to me now.
Alright, so that's the end of a round, because everyone has been activated. And now what we do is we resolve momentum. And Wally flies off. And that cost me 2 victory points. Which is terrible.
Oof.
Yeah. He's back on the reserve. Then forward moves 1 towards green. Next to your forward. And then you do your momentum.
So tackle is going to go into this space here.
Yeah. And he's going to gain yellow momentum, which cancels this one out.
What would happen if I'd had 2 red characters in that space?
You're forced to move one of them to the next square.
Oh, that would have been bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you can chain push people? I don't know how you would say, yeah.
Oh God, I think you'd have to be some kind of savant to achieve that.
And then this...
Therenth will move into that space there.
And she keeps the momentum.
She keeps the momentum.
Yeah, momentum is kept between rounds. Okay, so that's the end of it. And then we ready everyone. We replace... Oh, actually, we have to check the terrain. So this guy crosses unless you spend the...
Which I will. So after resolution phase begins. So I really should use that the minute before we even do momentum, right?
Yes.
But my intention is to blow up this rock here.
Yes.
Go bye rock.
Yes. Okay. So this is removed. And then we get a new one. And you got 3 points, by the way, because
Excellent.
you kept the ball. So you're winning. Well,
it's very nice of you to let me win.
Yes, let's say that. I'm letting this happen. But I'm playing terribly. Okay, so that's the end of the round. Now you are the first player. And the first thing you have to do is do the substitutions phase. The substitution phase is when you have less than 5 flyers on the board. You have to introduce new ones until you do. But you already have 5, so only I will do the substitutions phase. So I choose flyers from here, and I put them on the board. And they have to come in through one of the exterior squares.
And you don't want to pick the ones with the barriers on.
Yes.
Because that's bad.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with center here.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to go one Wally, because he's great. He's a great human being. Well, he's not an alien, but he's a great alien. And I want him... Where? I think also here. Yeah. Alright. And now... No, not here. I'll go here. And now the activation phase begins. Alright, and then we're going to take turns activating flyers. But I'm going to use Striker's ability. So after the activation phase begins, I can move any flyer I have that is not grappled back to the reserve. And then Striker comes in wherever he wants.
Whoa!
So I'm going to do that with a forward. So forward goes to the reserve. Because it's in a poor position there with all of those aggressive people. And Striker is going to go in there.
That makes perfectly good sense. Now, these barriers here, they count as terrain obstacles?
So, obstacles are between squares, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones in the middle of the squares are considered terrain. Why are you asking? What was the...
Oh, I was just trying to work out exactly what Phaser's ability is.
Oh, Phaser ignores these ones.
That's very good.
So he can move through them without being affected by them. So this guy could go here and nothing will happen.
That's...
Well, I mean, the thing that happened, you will be close to king.
Yeah, I will be close to king. But I don't know if I'm necessarily sad about that.
Yeah.
That depends. I don't have very good... I'm good at keeping the ball, and I'm okay at dodging stuff.
Yes.
But it is my move to go first, so I really shouldn't leave Phaser there, unless my intention is to just completely dodge Striker and Center's complete maneuvers, which I'm confident that Phaser's good enough to do that. It's confident about that, but just
bear in mind, I have 2 energy fields.
You do.
So I also ignore obstacles.
So that's putting that red barrier between us is not super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have an energy field, so really we're all going to just be ignoring obstacles this turn, it seems. But you do have to chase me, and then to get the ball back. And so I think what I'd like to do, really, I think what about passing?
Yeah, so you can pass the ball to anyone, anywhere on the board. They must have at least 1 point in ball control. So you couldn't pass to Syrian. He just doesn't...
It's just terrible. He'll automatically fumble.
He just doesn't like the ball. He doesn't come to play
that's not his game.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He's a criminal that they just put in a suit. Attached to a team. So you can pass to anyone. And it can be countered only by flyers in the same square as you passing, or in the square in which the other player is receiving. So if you did this, and then you pass to this character, that would be automatically successful. I did not consider that. That's actually a good...
I think that's not a bad... Well, I was thinking, yeah, I was at... Well, my first thought was to go up to where King is and then pass off to Zarian, but he doesn't like the ball. He hates it, so... I don't want Phaser to be left on rocks and all alone, because that's how Phaser dies, and I like Phaser. So, I think I like forward with the ball because she can just activate and leave, unless of course something happens to prevent that. So what's Wally got going on there?
He ignores every terrain for wounds and tire tokens.
Okay, so his push is actually not very good. He's a grappler.
Yeah.
He really likes to grapple, huh? Alright, so I think I don't want to do a push with Phaser because he can't. He can't do that. In fact, he can't really do much of anything other than... Or she. Or he? He can't really do much of anything other than hold onto the ball.
Yes. That's his role.
But I think that's... I think I like having him around because he's good at that. So I'm going to move 2 spaces in here and just hand it off to forward.
Yep.
Oops, sorry.
So that's very bad for me. So what I'm going to do is going to activate Hacker and hack forward.
I thought you might.
4.
5. No.
Yes, 5. So you win, I lose, I keep this card. That's terrible. What can I do with Hacker? I have to move.
Yeah, it does stay on the rock.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go... all my choices are bad.
Well, that makes me very happy. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going to leave the board.
Yeah. Hackers, that was his chance and he blew it.
Yeah.
Hacker, you're out!
He's fired.
Get back to the bench. Brilliant. So I've got now to consider... I'm not a big fan of Wally or King, but Ford's got a very good dodge, whereas King's ability is just extremely frightening to me. So I think in an effort to resolve my King problem, Zarian's going to move in here and push him.
Yes. So he will dodge.
And I can get rid of this tired token, so I had one on, but I'm relentless.
Yes.
Because I just love pushing that much.
Yes. Okay, I got a 7.
And I've got a 5.
Yes. So I win.
That's very good. But did you dodge?
I dodged.
Okay. So you don't get to push me.
No.
Okay, so that's a small... I'm going to just make sure I keep my board admin up to date here. That's a small recompense.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, if you had pushed me, I might have preferred that, because then you would be unable to do anything.
Yes. The thing is, because forward can activate as soon as I go into the square, there's not much I can actually do. So...
I'm just going to have to chase her around a bit, Play a bit of gotcha. Tag.
Yeah, I don't know how. Right, so I'll...
Zarian, you had one job, man. One job. It's like the only thing you can do. King is not just a clever name.
Okay, what can I do? I'm in trouble. I didn't think of this possibility at all. I should have left someone in that... You never want to leave people to their own demises. You want always to keep an eye on them. And I did not. So I'll activate... I'm going to activate King. And I'm going to use an energy field. So he ignores obstacles. And he's going to move here. And he's going to push this guy through the barrier.
Right, and that's tackle.
No, that's Phaser.
That's Phaser. No, Phaser's my boy.
I mean...
This is... What's, so you're pushing?
Yeah, I got a push of 1.
Your push of 1. Okay, well, I will use my dodge of 3. Oh.
No. Terrible. Okay, so I fail, but I keep this card.
And you don't want to use King's ability? Just take a note here, people. It's you can check your discard pile at any time.
It's not great. No, I don't think so. Maybe? Should I risk it? Okay, just for the fun of it. Because... Damn it!
That's exactly what you didn't want. So, we have it here. Carlos, not good at card counting.
Yes, so I played it both fours. But now I can choose which one I keep.
That's true.
So after a player turns begins, I choose a flyer he controls and he must activate that one. Or I shuffle this card back into my deck. I'm going to go with... back.
Nice.
So we'll shuffle this back into my deck. So I have another 4. Oh, that was so bad. And everything else is like ones, so...
Now you know, that's the problem with checking your discard. I just don't want to know. I'm like, this will be... I'm also not very good at card counting, but I don't want to know what's in there. Also, I'm thinking I might never use these because I quite like them not being in the deck.
Yeah, that's actually a valid strategy.
You know, I'm like, let's try and get into a position where no one's hurt, because then I never have to use cryo recovery.
Right, so keen spent.
I actually really like that. That's quite clever. You've done a good job. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, so what am I doing here? I've got forward still hanging out, tackle, and Therinth. Therinth, what are you doing? Your problem is that you're not particularly good at very much other than moving around. The Space Sharks are good at keep away, aren't they? That's their jam. I'm like, except for Zarian, he's like my one weapon, and he's like, I'm just hanging out, guys. It's cool. I'm not going to push anyone. Can't we all be friends? Right, so Tackle has a push of 2 and a grapple of 3. And how about Wally? Wally's got a grapple of 3 and a push of 1.
Mm-hmm.
But if I push him, he could defend with grapple, couldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And then if he wins, we'd both just be there grappling. Let's activate Tackle. So we're going to move Tackle in here. Now if I grapple you, then we're grappling and we move together.
Yeah, I can't move independently, and whatever you move, I have to go with you.
Right, and the only way for you to get out of that would be to grapple me back.
But I wouldn't grapple you back. I would make myself free using the grapple skill.
Yeah, you'd make yourself free using... Yeah. So I think we've both got 3 on grapple, right?
Yeah, so it's like a...
But if we're grappling, and you've got... Let's say... Hypothetically, Wally wins this and he grapples Tackle, which I know is unlikely because Tackle's great and Wally's just some chump.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, Wally wins this and he's got me grappled. Then you would actually not be able to use any other skills with him until he let go of me.
I could push people.
You could push people. I think I'm okay with forward getting pushed.
Okay. Let's do it then.
Let's do it. So here we go. Grapple off. Tackle versus Wally.
5.
7.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Do you know what's good about this?
Yep.
The 4 I wasted, it would have been used in this action, and it would have been wasted as well, because you would have won.
Because I'm the attacker.
Yeah. So
does the little fist point to you or to me?
So whoever is grappling has the arrow. Yeah. So the
there we
fist
go.
is pointed like that.
But I've used my 2 movements, so I guess now we're both just going to sit here and become injured.
I won't, because Wally cannot.
Oh.
Oh, but I do get tired talking, because I counter-grappled.
I see. Well then, it's alright. I have a plan.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay.
But first it's your turn.
Okay. So I played terribly, because I overcommitted to getting the ball, and not smartly. So I have to do something about that. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to activate Striker to move out. Or not. I mean, I know what you want to do. You want to activate Therinth to push your own flyer out. So I lose 2 points, and you lose 1.
It might have occurred to me. I'm not gonna say that I wasn't. I wouldn't lie to you, Carlos. It had crossed my mind.
So what I can do against that is use Center to force you to spend Therinth, but the Center is terrible, so I won't. So I'm going. But just for you to know that I know what you're doing.
So what have you done
I'm
there?
just moving out with striker.
Striker's just leaving.
Yeah.
Right, because he can just ambush back onto the board, can he? Get a better position. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Well, just as you predicted, cleverly predicted, I'm going to activate Therinth. And actually, the very first thing I'm going to do is use my ability to remove this momentum by gaining opposite momentum, which in this case would be a green, I suppose. And then I'm going to take one movement into here, and then I will push... if I push tackle...
It's automatically successful.
It's automatically successful, so I'll push us both off the board.
Yes.
Which is nice for me, because it does move someone into reserve, and that means that I can bring someone on next turn, which, as you've pointed out, it's quite useful to be able to sort of strategize about where you bring them on and who you're going to bring on as well.
So I lose 2 points, and you lose 1.
I lose 1. And that's because of his exit strategy, or is that just because...
Yeah, it's because of the exit strategy.
Yeah, that's right. And with one movement left on Therinth, I'm just going to go up here.
Yeah. And with center, I'm also going to leave the board. So I'm going to end this round with only 1 flyer on the board.
But it is king.
But he's the king.
He is your best. We know that. I have now got 1 activation left with forward.
Yes.
And what do I do with that is the real question.
Yeah. So, usually, if you go to the corners, you're usually safe from people coming in. But because no one is in the game, people are going to be coming in through the exterior ring of squares. Mm-hmm. So being in the 4 center squares is healthier for you. Which one? I don't know. It's completely random because the board is going to change, so you cannot really know. Yeah.
King is going to... my strategic mind says that staying 2 spaces away from king like I am now is preferable, because that means that there's more chance he'll have to move through obstacles in order to reach
it will
me.
be less likely for him to be able to do it, yeah.
On the other hand, I do quite like being in the same space as Therinth, because I feel like that gives me more options. But you know what? I am forward. I've got this ridiculous ability to activate. So I think I'll sit there, we'll hold tight, we'll see what happens.
Yes. Okay, so that's the end of the round. No one has momentum, so no one is moving anywhere. No one is crossing against any obstacles, so that's it. So you scored 3 points, and we get a new board.
Now, how many rounds is the
4.
game? 4. All right, so we are at half time.
Yes, and you're winning by 10 points. So to win, I have to get the ball twice and make you lose 4 points.
It sounds achievable.
And you have to fail at everything.
Well, at the moment, the good news is, at the moment, I cannot actually cause you to lose any further points.
Yes, that was my goal.
It's a valid strategy to be on 0 at half time.
Yes.
So that you can optimize your...
Yeah, so Siren is useless now.
Yeah, Siren is absolutely... Yeah, he's meaningless. I mean, to be fair, he wasn't doing much right away.
Well, I wasted a lot of resources trying to stop him, which in hindsight wasn't useful.
Because he didn't do anything.
Yes. So everyone becomes ready, so you turn him. I become first player now. Mm. And then we take turns to enter with flyers into the board again. So, right.
Who places the first flyer?
I do, because I'm the first player.
Very good.
So Wally will come in, because Wally is fun at parties. And I want him here.
All right. Now... I like tackle. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed having tackle around. Mm-hmm. I also feel like I like safety. Mm-hmm. Safety can perform 1 additional movement and has 3 push. I like hacker. Hacker's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Hacker who can shut people down. But I'll tell you what, let's take safety because, I mean, look at this guy. It seems like, the kind of guy you want on your team, right? Look at that. He's ready to save someone. And also, I just like pushing. So he has to come on a board edge.
Yes.
All right. Well, I really think my optimal choice is here. Okay. We'll find out whether that pays off.
I'm going to come in with Hacker.
No! Why? We hate that guy.
I'm just going to come here.
He's such a pain.
Here? No. Come in here.
On the rock.
Oh no, I can't because I will get tired if I go there.
Oh, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. No. It goes there. Okay, so I still go because you have 5 guys on the board. Right. Come on, guys. You have to be able to do this. So I need someone that can get the ball. Okay, I need some aggression, I think. So I'm going to go with safety as well.
Safety, it's a very misleading name, isn't it? Because it's not... He's not safe. He's very dangerous, actually.
Depends, like... There's weapons of attack, weapons of defense, you know.
The best defense is a good offense. That's what we're... Oh, no.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a striker ability to bring center back and then enter here with striker.
What?
Yeah.
And then I can't activate forward because you didn't enter the space.
Yes, I did. I just enter it, so you can now choose to use forward.
I can now immediately activate forward?
Yep.
Intriguing.
Yeah. But at least I will know where you are going to be going.
That's true.
Which has been my bane so far.
Now, do you know what I'd really like to do? Is pass the ball to Zarian, but he's an idiot and he can't catch the ball, so
Bounce off his head.
It's not going to happen. So I think, in order to make your life as annoying as possible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1-2 movements into here, and then I'm going to set up the railgun like this. Is that the best way to do this? I think maybe this is better. I'm thinking about how to make life annoying in the later stages. All right, and then can I give the ball to him?
Yeah, that's a free action.
All right, let's do that because he can protect it better.
No, actually, it's not because you're passing the ball. So
and King is there,
so I could counter it.
If I were to stay in this space and do it, would it be free?
No, because
because King is there.
Yeah.
Interesting. So if I proceed with this maneuver, what is the situation? Who's making a ball check?
The person passing.
So forward would be making a ball check against King.
Yeah.
I don't like that, and I'll tell you why I don't like that.
Because King is better.
Because King is better, and he has his ability.
Yeah.
All right. What about Therinth? You are also bad at ball. Why is everyone bad at ball? Other than Phaser. I suppose because the premise is that we want the ball to change hands. It's a terrible game when someone has the ball the whole time.
He's win.
All right. So becoming tired for forward's not really a good idea, is it?
I mean, I don't know. If she's got the ball, she doesn't have to use her action, so it's fine. Why?
Yeah, that's true. And then I could remove the tired token at the end of her turn, right? So she'd get the tired token. She wouldn't be able to do an action, but then at the end of the turn, she'd lose it.
Yeah. So if you didn't want to use the action at all, then it doesn't matter. What? Do you have the preventive missile thing?
Nope. So she'll just be there now.
Fair enough. Okay. Interesting choice.
Yeah, come get the ball now. It's pretty dangerous.
Right, so what I'm going to do is activate safety.
Uh-oh.
To push your safety off the board.
Uh-oh. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't really care.
So you're gonna push me, and so I think I'm gonna push you.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
So you get tired, just in case you stay on the board.
So now it's gonna just be straight up card draw.
Yep. Ooh,
Oh
pass.
no! It's super unlucky for me. I'm pushed off the board.
Pushed off. There you go, and you lose 2 victory points.
Oh no!
That's what I need. Well, I need that and a lot of more things. But
You've been lulling me into a false sense of security.
and you know what? Safety is going to leave the board because it's free for me. Because I cannot lose any more points.
Well, when you put it like that.
I'm already on the ground. I can't go lower. Your turn.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna activate Zerion, and I'm going to push forward, which is free, right? So I'll push forward up here.
Yeah.
And then I've got 2 movement, and I'll go 1, 2 into here.
Yes.
There, a successful push. Do you know how he does that? He does it by not actually having... He pushes his friends around. And just beat up our friends. That's how we push successfully.
Right, so what I'm going to do is activate... I'm going to activate Hacker. No. Yes. Yes. And I'm going to hack.
Well spotted.
This is very hard because I have to make everything right unless... Otherwise I lose. So you need to get the ball. Right, so I'm not going to activate Hacker. To activate Wally. Move here. And push King here. Here you go.
The game's afoot. Alright. Well, I have to get king. So... King's dodge is really good, which is upsetting to me. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, well... Oh, he can draw 2 and pick 1. I think I've had some pretty good numbers already, so I'm not super optimistic about my chances. Also, I can't really activate Therinth super well because there's friends blocking my way. Actually, no, I could go the other way, couldn't I? I could actually just go 1, 2 into here, and then I could use my ability to cancel that momentum. So I'll do that, and then I'm going to grapple. No, push the second thing. Push. Yep. I'm going to push King. Oh, it was good.
Damn it! So you win, and you push me.
Do you want to use your ability?
No, because I think my 4 is there. Yeah, my 4 is there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So you got a 4 and like 2 1s there. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to draw the 4. and even I had 2, I lose.
Because I'm the attacker.
Yes.
My 4s have been so good. Let's just accuse the deck of cards. I'm going to push you onto this rock, my friend.
Okay.
Which means King is now tired.
Yes.
Which is very bad.
Yes. So he's tired.
Not a very friendly act.
No. Nah, I messed up. That's game, I think. Because if you score this ball, there's no way I can win. Yeah. So you won.
You're happy to call it?
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thank you for the game.
Thank you.
Was great.
No. That's terrible.
I regret all of my design decisions.
Yes. I'm going to change everything, so I always win.
But what we'll do, I think, is we'll do a sort of an after game rundown and that'll we'll make that a separate video. So if you're finding this maybe on the Kickstarter page, or maybe you found it through my channel or social media, do come and check out Ready Steady Play and check out Coreball on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter launches
on the 16th.
On the 16th of April.
Yeah.
So check out the Kickstarter page. Check out what's going on there. Make sure you look for my videos, of course. But if you're on my channel, come back for the game rundown, and we'll chat a bit about Carlos's design process, what inspired him to make the game.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. I wasn't playing easy. I was playing wrong.